Shake them ropes. Jeff Hawkins, Chris Novembrino. The entire professional wrestling world is turning criminal between Arn Anderson and Seth Rollins. We'll talk about that. Ice cold takes on Extreme Rules. And, the lazy river of wrestling criticism, which has become a fun part of this show for me because we can go wherever we want. Chris, you are Novembrino is an Italian name, correct?
It is. It is.
I have an Italian food related issue, I guess you would say.
Oh, okay. Well, I am the complaint department for Italian food as part of the broader Italian American diaspora.
No,
so please, no. By all means, I'm happy to field this one.
Are you a fan of Stromboli by chance?
I like it.
Okay. Stromboli is one of those, as many people know, I tend to chase tastes from my childhood that I haven't had in a long, long time. Like the taco pizza is still an elusive one to me. I'm trying to find one that's kind of like Showbiz Pizza used to have, because I had it once and it was great, and I've never had one better since. I have been looking for a good Stromboli because they used to have. I went to this party or something like that. I forgot what it was, but they had frozen Strombolis that they had cooked in the oven and stuff like that. It was great. It was fantastic. So I've been looking for like an Italian restaurant or something out here because I can make them here, but I don't want to necessarily. I just want to buy one and kind of eat it. And I haven't found them. I found calzones. I found other things. Well, I was on a road trip today. I went to the cider mills here in the mountains of California. And there was an Italian restaurant with a Stromboli. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get that. That sounds amazing. Let's try this out. It was a calzone without the sauce. It was the toppings folded, not rolled into like a little baby loaf, folded. And I'm just like, it wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't a Stromboli. It was a calzone without sauce is what it was. And then they gave you marinara to dip it in. But it was like, why can't people make a damn Stromboli, Chris? It's not that difficult.
No, but it's one of those things that you either can make it or you can't. I don't have a strong Stromboli take here.
That's cool. I just wanted to vent a bit.
It's all right.
I should go to. Well, why can't a pizza place make a decent Stromboli? That's all I'm asking. All you gotta do is roll it up, put it in the oven for the same amount of time, vent it a little bit so that the steam comes out. It doesn't seem to me to be that difficult to think. Who put it this way? Oh no, that was Sean Rossap. I was on a show of his earlier, but he called it S-Baro. It's Sabaro. Sabaro makes a Stromboli.
Whoa, S-Baro?
They call it S-Baro.
Well, this was not joking, I'm assuming. This was like
I don't know. I don't know if he was doing it to troll or if he really didn't know how to pronounce Sabaro. But that's a possibility. There are new listeners this week because I was on a show on Fightful. So
hello, new listeners. Soon you won't like me
in some way. Stop it. Oh, where do we want to go first? There's not much news here, kids. So let's just get that out of the way. It was announced on Friday that Jackie Redmond is joining WWE as new co-host of Raw Talk and Talking Smack. She'll host both shows alongside Matt Camp. Camp is also one of the hosts of WWE's The Bump. She is from Canada. She's been doing sportscasting up there. Now she gets to come down here and do shows for Peacock that nobody cares about. Congratulations on your hire.
I think this is going to be a tremendous shakeup for the product. I expect that you'll see in the demo here probably an additional 50 to 60,000, particularly along the coastlines. I expect this pickup to just really juice Peacock subscriptions in the next quarter, at least.
Chris Huber, the brother of John Huber and Amanda Huber, John's widow, announced the formation of the John Huber Legacy Foundation on 9/29, the day of the AEW show in Rochester, New York, which was Huber's hometown. Foundation will focus on providing support for people in creative fields who have not taken the next step in their career because of family obligations. Quote, John almost gave up on his dream of wrestling because of his family, unquote, said Amanda Huber, but he got the call to move up to WWE while we were in the hospital with our first child. I can't think of a better way of honoring his commitment to family and his career than to help other people who are facing this same dilemma.
I think that's wonderful. It's a really unique charity.
Yes, that's what
yeah.
I was thinking. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is, how far along in your creative career? It's like, because I know a lot of people who are doing creative things that just, they're never going to get anywhere doing it. They're just doing creative things. So how do we judge that next step? That was what was unusual to me about this.
Yeah, well, and then, I like the idea, I like the spirit of it. It will be interesting, with all these things, it's always in the execution or whatever, but here's hoping that they do something good with it.
That's the news, Chris. That's all I had for news this week.
That's not a lot of news. That's not a lot of news.
No, there's not.
Are we on to the lazy river?
We're almost there.
Okay.
Ratings talk. Just
let's say hit me some ratings talk. Hit me with some ratings.
I don't have Raw in front of me. If you can find those while I'm reading these, that'd be helpful.
The Raw ratings? Okay, yeah. Sure.
AEW Dynamite on 9/29. The aforementioned Rochester show did 1.152 million viewers, 0.45 in the 18 to 49. That's 588,000. It's pretty darn good. I believe they won the night. They beat the challenge yet again. SmackDown on September 24th did a 1.35 rating with 2.135 million viewers and 0.55, 713,000 in the 18 to 49 demo. How'd Raw do?
It got a 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb, Jeff.
Oh, well, that's good.
No. All right, here, let me get the actual ones up. 1.7 million viewers and 0.48 in the 18 to 49 demographic. Yeah, Raw's down at 1.7 now, and I think that gets you kind of into that continuing downtrend. Now, Grant, we're in the football season. Dallas Cowboys versus Philadelphia Eagles. Game aired both on ESPN and ESPN2, doing a combined 14.47 million viewers and 4.84 in the 18 to 49 demo and 3.49 in 18 to 34. I don't know, let's see if there's anything of notes here. Compared to last year, Raw was down 7% in viewers, down 13% in 18 to 49, and down 21% in 18 to 34. I actually think that one's fairly striking. Were they doing football right in September last year, or was there like a brief pause because of COVID? You're more the football guy.
I believe they were on time.
Okay. So then these are fairly analogous numbers and speak to a continued downtrend, and that tracks with the breaking below 2 million threshold. And they're sustainingly they're there in a sustaining way.
The weird thing last year was if there was a COVID protocol and they had to delay a few days, you might get a game on like Wednesday. Or like there was a Tuesday afternoon game at one point, as I recall, but overall there was still Monday Night Football. Sean Ross sat behind the scenes, is saying that USA is very pleased with this NXT show, and that both Fox and USA have been involved in brokering talks about this draft that started tonight. Let's start the lazy river of commentary, Chris.
Okay, I've got something that's like not on any slate, but and I guess it will be a note of positivity for WWE to start off our lazy river. Okay. Remember Adnan Virk?
Yes.
Okay, and remember when he left and they replaced him with this guy Jimmy Smith? We were like, this guy has to stick and has to like work for what they're doing, because if they change like commentators multiple times, I feel like they're going to be in just like kind of an endless cycle of changing commentators. Well, Jimmy Smith, I'm here to say several months into the Jimmy Smith experiment, he's pretty decent. He's fine. He's absolutely inoffensive.
I would agree. And before we get too deep into the lazy river, let's do Extreme Rules cold thoughts, because Jimmy kind of fits into that. I thought he was perfectly fine.
Yeah, no, I'm not here to tell you that he's like great or anything like that.
No.
I'm here to tell you that they needed somebody who was absolutely vanilla, and Jimmy is that. He has a decent synergy with Corey Graves. Corey sort of like is running the show, and Jimmy and Byron sort of orbit around him at this point, and it works just fine.
It does, but the problem is he's vanilla, but it's not like Corey and Byron are huge, colorful characters. The problem is Corey's still doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the play-by-play here from time to time. Byron and Corey just seem to snap at one another. I don't know. It's perfectly ineffective. It doesn't get in the way of the commentary. Let's put it that way.
Whereas
But it
Michael
doesn't add.
Cole has a tendency to get in the way of what's going
Yes.
on the screen.
Yes.
Even tonight where he was having fun and it was kind of fun, he just gets in the way of things.
I would agree. I've warmed to Michael Cole over the years. He's still not. He's never going to be on my top 3 or top 5 list, but being with McAfee at least has energized him a bit, and I like that about him. I do. It's just, yeah, there are times where it feels like he's pushing something a little bit too hard, and he needs to back off of it. Would that be right?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Stream Rules for me was a souped up Raw. Gotta be honest with you. I wasn't terribly impressed with anything on the show. I don't. Let's talk about the demon, shall we? What the hell was that?
A strong finish to a match, a real strong characterization. No, what they did with the demon is they decided that they really need to get the Fiend back, and that letting Bray Wyatt in a way was a mistake. And if Finn Balor did the demon thing, it'd be kind of like the whole Fiend thing. And that's sort of what they did during this Roman Reigns match. But then also, they couldn't let the demon win, even though they spotlighted that the demon had this giant winning streak as the demon.
So the heartbeat of the demon woke up Finn Balor. And then it left him as he was going up to the top rope, and the ropes.
We'll never know what happened to that turnbuckle,
That's
Jeff.
going to be my question here, Chris. Are they going to actually follow up on what they did with all of this? Or is this just going to be, well, it happened and Finn Balor's back one day?
I hope it's as narratively satisfying as Rey Mysterio landing on the floor below, off screen.
They threw me off a building,
Yeah.
and
But I landed to the next floor.
I landed on a ledge. That's why I'm here on Raw the next night. Oh, the most brilliant storytelling ever. And the other really big match to me was the women's championship over on SmackDown, in which we have Sasha Banks back. And I love me some Sasha Banks. Don't get me wrong. Sasha Banks is a welcome presence in whatever women's division she's in. Problem is, we now have a second heel in this Bianca feud that's a bigger heel than both of them. So now we're not only going to grind Bianca, at least until she's off of the show, because she was drafted to Raw tonight in the first round. So we have Bianca, we have Sasha, and we have now big time Bex. I just don't know. They're going to be in a 3-way in Saudi Arabia. I think Bianca wins the 3-way, switches titles with Charlotte, and goes on her merry way to be the Raw champ. But I don't see her being a bigger star because of this program.
No, absolutely not.
You didn't have a chance to watch SmackDown tonight, but
I saw the main event of SmackDown.
Okay. So you saw the contrived. She does a backflip off of the apron, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're invading my personal space. Oh no!
And then at the end of it, Charlotte comes and knocks down both Sasha and Bianca. This feud, I don't see a way where it helps out Bianca Belair at the end of it, even if she ends up as champion. And I don't know that I'm convinced that she's going to be champion at the end of this feud. So we'll see.
I think she has to be, because they're going to do the whole belt switch thing. They have to. Otherwise, you're going to have the Raw Women's Champ on SmackDown. unless she loses on Monday during the draft.
They might make that. They might make that
Oh
a
my God.
storyline.
Alexa might win this title on Monday.
She might. That match, I thought it was kind of a mistake to not have Alexa win the match.
Did you?
Yeah.
Expound on that.
I don't really know that Charlotte's title reign is necessary. I think that the Alexa character probably needs it more at this point, especially now that there's not Lily. I would like she's not
that
great.
That was something, wasn't it? Ripping.
Thank you, Yelly. Thank you, Lily. At the crowd chanting that. I mean,
the Alka-Seltzer. Did the Alka-Seltzer do anything?
The Alka-Seltzer. Any number of the way this finish was.
Is she a rabid dog?
That's my strongest argument for why she should have won the match. Is look how she lost the match.
Yeah.
Look what the lengths they went to write her losing this match.
And they tore up her doll, and she had to put Alka-Seltzer in her mouth. Oh my goodness! And the best part was they moved that other women's match, which was nothing to write home about. The Carmella Liv to the pre-show so they could fit in a New Day 6-man match that really didn't matter. It was so, the show was so weird to me in so many ways and so uneventful.
Yeah. Sheamus and Jeff Hardy and Damian Priest delivered exactly what I thought. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was the the sneaky good match that I was expecting it to be. I enjoy a Sheamus match. He's in the perfect role in this company, and I enjoy when he like danced and did the like Jeff Hardy thing or whatever on the top ropes.
Let me ask you this question before we leave Extreme Rules. God help us, we're leaving Extreme Rules.
It was truly extreme this year. You can just feel my pulse
Are
racing.
the Street Profits the tag team they're going to split up in this draft? Because it feels like it to me.
Angelo Dawkins getting that repackage is going to be the kiss of death.
Yeah, and Montez is going to be the guy that they see what they can do with.
Yeah, I think they kind of teased that when they had Tez do the singles match.
Yeah.
That's why I was I guess I was sort of bringing it up the other week.
Well, you don't know this, but we'll go over the draft a little bit.
You don't know what I don't know.
I know you don't, unless you've been spoiled, and then it's like, okay, well then that.
No, I would hardly say I've been spoiled. I would say I'm a bit of a hard Scrabble fellow.
Scrabble's always hard.
Yeah, especially with me.
The lazy river of wrestling criticism. Let us begin. Let's talk about this Arn Anderson promo. What in the blue hell was this thing? You all know I love me some Arn. Last week, I go out on a ledge and I say, Cody knows what he's doing. He's very smart here. This week, he's playing heel during the tag match, which is fine. It's fine if you're going to split off Arn from Cody. That's cool too. I'm fine with that. It's great, as a matter of fact, because I'm going to call a shot here later tonight that everybody's going to think I'm absolutely nuts about, but I'm going to do it anyways. Cody. So Arn is like, okay, Cody, you're not following the rules. That's a perfectly acceptable reason for a coach to ditch a player. I would have been fine with that. But no, we get this. If you were carjacked, you would have given the car up. If I were carjacked, I would have taken out my Glock and I would have blasted that fool. As Ron Burgundy once said, that escalated quickly. And the funniest part to me was seeing Brandy Rose's face when he said that. It's like, okay, we're going here. That promo made absolutely no sense. It didn't do anything for this split. It confused me quite a bit. And look, this crowd is going to boo Cody until the cows come home. Let's go into that, because here's my call. Cody's the Joker in this ladder match on Wednesday, and he wins the title shot. Whereas before, he wasn't allowed to have a title shot, whatever. It would cement his heel position in AEW if he won this title shot and asked for it, in my opinion. I think that's how you really heel him on the fans.
Yeah, I've been I'm trying to look for a convoluted music reference to explain the Arn Anderson pull out my Glock line, because it's like one of these things that sounds very cool and it is actually a good line for a different promo in a different storyline, not this storyline. I'm with you.
I think you'd have to go with Train. The best soy latte you ever had, and me, or something like that. They probably thought that was cool at the time.
Yeah, okay, look, Train actually has a bunch of. Train's like the king of detached lyrics from like an actual broader meaning. So like, yeah, you could pick out like any single. Not like she checks out Mozart while she does
Tae Bo reminds me that there's room to grow.
Not that line.
Yeah.
Not that line. But like. You know, like the idea of drops of Jupiter is not a bad idea, and maybe not in that context. It doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, like that's how I feel about pull out my Glock and, you know, all of that sort of thing. Like, no doubt, I want to see Arn Anderson go up against Malachi Black here. And I do think that they know what they're doing with Cody and that they're going to turn Cody heel. I mean, even like the Roads to the Top section that I saw here before we started taping, like he was talking, oh, they booed me in my hometown. Like, this is building to something, but I don't know, man. Like it's weird. It's just a weird
such
beat.
A stunning thing. You're just watching it going, whoa, what?
And you made me go back and watch Brandy's reaction, and Brandy's reaction was really entertaining. I'm with you on that. I enjoyed that.
It's like she didn't know it was coming either. It's like, okay, let's improv off of that.
And look, that's the thing that makes AEW fun as compared to WWE. At the same time, I think we've really lost the thread here with the Malachi Black storyline, because like if Cody's a heel and Black has also been a heel, but he's a cool heel, then like what am I cheering for? I feel like right now the strongest babyface in this angle is Arn Anderson. Like, to me, when I use the phrase booking against the grain here, it's like you're booking against the grain because the audience wants to cheer Malachi Black because they so desperately, and have before the Malachi Black storyline, but only more so with Malachi Black because they already thought he was cool. He's like, you know, he was already cool when he came in and was already getting, you know, warm reactions, shall we say. I just don't know where this goes in a narratively satisfying way unless you're going to do like a double turn thing. I guess they could do the double turn match, and the double turn match would serve as the reset button here. I just don't know what you do with Arn and Lee Johnson or whatever.
Your turn on the lazy river, sir.
My turn on the lazy river. Was there anything on Raw that was worth talking about? Oh, hey man, you remember Ricochet?
I do.
Yeah. He had this little encounter with Reginald, and I was almost briefly like excited for this because I figured at least like
I was a little excited for it too.
Yeah, right. They're gonna do like some flips and stuff. This will at least be like 5 minutes of fun, maybe.
Yeah.
No, not even that. Not even
have
that. No, I look forward to when Ricochet finally gets liberated and goes over to have matches in the mid-card of AEW. It'll be good. He'll have longer matches.
What? No, he's a main eventer.
Ricochet?
As a WWE main event. He'll be with your boy now.
Outback Slapjack?
Outback Slapjack.
Yeah.
Shane Thorne.
Into it.
For those who don't know, Shane Thorne has basically decided he's going full Crocodile Dundee.
Outback Jack.
Outback Jack, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked Slapjack better.
No, I think he should have Slapjack as like an avatar to tap into whenever, like the demon or you know, the fiend.
Let's make him Captain Boomerang. Let's just make him Captain Boomerang from the DC Comics. At least he's kind of a cool heel at times. This thing is dumb. What are we doing?
Speaking of what are we doing, how about Keith Bearcat Lee?
I don't mind that. What do you have against Keith Bearcat Lee?
Chris? What do I have against it?
Yeah, what do you have against it?
I don't think it's got much of a direction.
Other
I,
than them
I,
putting
I
a
think
nickname in between
I think
Keith
they
and
came
Lee?
up with Bearcat and they got nothing else.
That's what I think too.
Yeah. There's not another bullet in the holster here, Jeff. That's my problem with Bearcat Lee.
No, I was leaving you out there to dry to see if you really had anything. Let's watch him.
No. I had something. Yeah, like also all he's doing is the same match, only now he's not smiling and he's not doing the Keith Lee thing. So like he'll ultimately be a heel. I think him being a heel is probably more effective, but I don't know that people will really buy him as a heel. He has too much of a nice guy face.
Vince with the stogie. We found your hook, kid. Puff, puff, puff. Let's take a timeout real quick. Thank our sponsor this week, MyBookie. With over $500,000 in contest prize money up for grabs, the NFL is back in action, and so is winning season at MyBookie. For example, if you'd taken the 2-team parlay of Jeff's teams on Thursday, you would have been a big winner, although I don't think the Bengals beat the spread. But at mybookie.ag, choose from a variety of boosts and free bets and get in on the fan favorite $100,000 super contest, which only costs $10 to enter. Pick 5 games against the spread each week. Each win earns you a point, and each point gets you closer to the grand prize. In order to get you started, make your first deposit at mybookie.ag. Use promo code ROPES, ROPES, to instantly receive double your deposit. That's double your money to double your winnings with your first ever deposit using promo code ROPES. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Yes, Thursday was a good football night for your boy. The Bengals and the Cavaliers of Virginia both won. Chris, are you there? You have turned off your camera for a moment. There you are.
Yeah, I am. Are we still in the advert?
We are not in the advert. We are just coming out of the advert. And
okay, great. So, Jeff, who was the guy who went up against Jackson Riker?
I believe that was Karrion Kross.
This guy is fantastic. Where have they been keeping him? Love the outfit. Great theme song. Great talent.
Former NXT champion, by the way. Which
You
they
don't
announced.
say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Neat.
Speaking of NXT, let's talk a little about the WWE draft, because there were a couple of surprises in there. And all of a sudden I got rid of my screen that had the draft on it. So give me a second here. Now, the big story to me coming out of it, which was very, very interesting. And I don't know if this is good news or bad news. Of course, you want everybody to make main roster money and you want everybody to get as much exposure as you can. But coming over to the SmackDown brand, one hit row, NXT North American champion Isaiah Swerve Scott, Top Dollar, Ashante the Adonis, and poor Sonya called her Fab B. No, it's B Fab. Did they have did they have on the cue card? I wonder if it was like Scott, Isaiah. Fab, B. Yeah, them, and as we probably already knew, Austin Theory, who has been drafted over to the Raw brand coming up from NXT. Additionally, SmackDown, Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair, Drew McIntyre, The New Day, so they're splitting them up again. Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. It's just a dumb unit. Naomi and Jeff Hardy over on Raw. Big E, Bianca Belair, RK Bro, Edge, Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH, Keith Bearcat Lee, Mysterio Family Theater, and Austin Theory. Tonight.
I can't wait to see what Rey Mysterio gets into next.
In addition to that, Brock Lesnar is a free agent. He can go where he wants because he's cooler than everybody else, which makes this whole draft thing pointless, in my opinion. Why do they do that? Why do they undercut their exact same freaking rules that they set out there? Like, I'll give you another example. Tonight, Roman's upset that the Usos weren't drafted. Well, I don't believe the Usos were eligible to be drafted tonight by the exact rules of the draft because only half the roster is available. So they just undercut their own stories. Yes, we're having a draft, but Brock Lesnar, it doesn't apply to him. He can go wherever he wants. Okay, why? They never explained. Just, it's because Paul Heyman found a loophole, blah, 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 blah. But if you're going to have a draft, have a draft. If not, just put people on a show and do it. That's my theory. Any thoughts from what I just said?
Not really, because I don't necessarily expect them to hold to this draft thing because they were already sort of playing around with it anyways, and they have been booking these shows differently in reaction to AEW's very successful pay-per-view. So I don't necessarily expect these hard walls of division or whatever to hold up.
Chris, you don't think there's a reason why they said yes? These draft rosters will go into effect in 3 weeks,
right? So that they can leave themselves an out to reshuffle who can be drafted, who's going where and when. Yeah, no.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe they split up the New Day again.
We'll see.
No, they did. Well, yeah, for now.
We'll see.
Hit Row, it's too soon. It's way too soon. Scott's the only guy.
Yeah, I worry about Top Dollar. Top Dollar, I think, could get exposed at any length of time.
I think Top Dollar is the last man standing out of this crew. I mean, after watching that NXT show Tuesday, B-Fab ain't bringing it.
No, she is not.
And Ashante the Adonis is good, but he's small. And he's the guy who takes the falls for all this, for this group all the time.
I like him on the microphone.
I do too a lot. Madcap Moss is a death character. He's so happy, Corbin. And I got this guy, he tells jokes. This is Madcap Moss, my buddy, my pal. You're my Madcap Moss, Chris.
You're my happy Corbin, Jeff.
And they drafted him 5th, make it seem important. Yeah, Drew McIntyre and his sword are coming to SmackDown.
Yeah, he's gonna have that feud with Big E, and
I expect nothing but Braveheart promos, maybe a Highlander reference.
Yeah.
And Edge goes to Raw, even though Edge is kind of a limited. To me, it's a limited capacity thing. Why would you keep him around full time? But you missed as well. Seth Rollins went to Edge's house, and the front door was unlocked. So he made himself at home. So between Arn Anderson capping fools and breaking and entering, we got nothing but criminals on these rosters.
Yeah, and that teaches Edge the valuable lesson about locking your doors. This is really his fault. It has nothing to do with Seth Rollins going onto the dude's property and entering the house.
Your turn on the lazy river, sir.
My turn on the lazy river. AJ Styles versus Riddle. This is a fun little match, man.
It was a lot of fun. And a morass of suck. It was a lot of fun to watch. AJ.
I actually thought Raw was fairly watchable, broadly speaking. It wasn't bad. But like, particularly this match, I thought this match was pretty good.
Yeah, this match brought it up for me, definitely. Matt Riddle is their most underutilized player, and I know that he's problematic, but when he's allowed to take the blinders off or take the reins off, he can go. And AJ's been stuck in this almost partnership for so long, you forget how good he is sometimes, to me.
Yeah, I mean, this Raw show was essentially just the 2 Big E matches and then this match. So, like, if you're just judging it by the ones that got longer than 5 minutes, it's just these 3 matches, and they were all fine. I thought the cage match was exactly what you expect a Monday Night Raw cage match to be. The standard WWE style spots apply when you've got faction versus faction, where one team makes a save, the other team makes a save. This was fine. It wasn't amazing. It was okay.
Anything else?
Not on Raw.
Okay. Well, no, I meant for your lazy river pick. My turn.
Your turn.
Going back to AEW. I appreciated the Sammy win. I just didn't think it was time necessarily, but of course, being in Rochester and the TNT title being important, I also thought it was the right place to reunite the Dark Order. I just thought there were 2 people who could unite the Dark Order, and neither of them did it. It could have been a debuting Bray if you had wanted to go that route and, get past no computer.
Boy, he would have been over like Rover in Rochester.
I don't know if he would. He might have, he might not have. I don't know. You don't know, But really, the place to do this is the place to bring back Hangman to me. I get that he's hanging out with the baby, but have him come in for a night, reunite the Dark Order, have the happy moment in Rochester, in the town. And that's what you end with. I don't think you put this in the middle of the show like they did. But I understand the Sammy win. It was one of those things where it didn't feel like there needed to be a release of the pressure because there hadn't been enough pressure built up in terms of a feud between Miro and Sammy, in my opinion. They hadn't quite gotten all the way past Fuego, and they still brought Fuego out for this match, which I didn't really like either, to be honest with you. But I think the show should have ended with the reuniting Dark Order. I think that was a good call. I just think Hangman should have been the one to do it, not Amanda Huber. And that's no offense to Amanda Huber. I'm glad she got her moment. I'm glad Mookie got a little bit our boy Mookie got a little bit of screen time being up front and cheering for the Dark Order. I liked the moment. I just thought scripting wise, I thought it wasn't the best choice they could have made.
Yeah, something was a little flat about the Sammy win over Miro.
I agree.
I on one level, I get why they wanted to do the belting because the earlier promo between Darby and MJF about them being the four young pillars and talking about who got the title first or who's gotten a belt first, and then Sammy winning later in the night. Kind of an important bookend thing. I actually appreciate that because it's subtle, but that there's a narrative through line thing. See, I can say nice things. But I don't know that we really got the maximum payoff for how good of a heel champion Miro's been.
Yeah.
That's my
and especially the way he lost by, the turnbuckle stuff and being a knucklehead.
Yeah. This was not, if you asked me, what does the Miro losing the belt match look like? And I kind of had written it out in my head or written it out on a piece of paper. This is not it.
No.
And it was not particularly close to what I thought it was going to be. I expected him to be a really kind of career building victory for whoever ultimately built him. And in this case, I felt it was more of a nice victory, not necessarily a super memorable one. And,
yeah.
And Sammy probably would have really benefited. He'll be fine, but he would have benefited from a really memorable one, in my opinion.
He would have benefited from a show that focused on the build-up to him winning the title.
Also true.
I think this was another thing where they had too many moments in the 2 hours.
That's an AEW thing. They do kind of really load up the slate with angles, and you're right, this is one where I would have had Miro attack Fuego backstage earlier in the show so that there's no Fuego to help them. Just kind of make it look like Sammy's back's against the wall. I would have had Miro attack Sammy, and Sammy has to wrestle a match with injured ribs or something, a gimmicked injury. I would make Miro on the night where his back is really up against the wall, the ultimate caged animal, not a lunk who's trying to take off the turnbuckle pads.
I believe it is your turn on the Lazy River, sir.
Okay. Bryan Danielson and Nick Jackson. Let's talk about this match, shall we?
Little rampage. Let's do it.
A little rampage. Look, Bryan Danielson did what Bryan Danielson does. He has a match format where he is able to take wrestlers who maybe are not great at the storytelling part of the wrestling match and slot them into the Danielson template, and they have a really good and impactful sort of match.
Ooh.
What?
A little bit of a slight on the Jackson boy, huh?
Look, I think that the Young Bucks are exceptional athletic performers in the ring.
Okay.
They do the high spots really well. However, for example, in this match, what was the setup move for the sharpshooter that Nick Jackson did?
I don't remember the match.
It's the classic sort of move you do to set up a sharpshooter.
Remind me.
It's an escalera. Yeah, like this is my in a nutshell. Like this is my knock on the Young Bucks is that they do an escalera to set up a sharpshooter and that sort of thing. So like, no, don't get me wrong. More bang.
They're not working over the leg. They're not like Ole Anderson it.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be as curmudgeonly as you like it, Jeff. But
I do like. Hold on, let's dwell on that a little bit. I'm improving on my curmudgeonliness.
Submission. Here's the thing, man. Submission holds just out of the ether are never going to have any impact. They have to be earned. They have to be earned. That doesn't mean anything because then it's a rest hold and you're just waiting for them to grab the ropes. And I get that it's still a rest hold regardless. But like, if Nick Jackson was going after Danielson's back or something like that, it makes the sharpshooter more impactful and like, I don't know, maybe get you to 5% bite that he might tap out or something. I don't know. But that is my knock on Jackson. And the other guy that he was in the ring with last week, same sort of thing, where that guy is very good at certain moves, but I think Danielson's matches offers a really nice template for structure that carries this guy and that guy to greater heights than those guys are capable of on their own.
Why are you trolling the Omega fans? Why?
I didn't say his name. I said no one's name. I was talking about Bryan Danielson, one of the most underrated wrestlers. Yes. I'm talking about one of the most underrated wrestlers of the last decade here, Bryan Danielson. I'm not like talking about like an overrated wrestler or something like that.
Bryan Danielson was facing that guy.
The guy last week. The guy last week. A lot of people like that match. It was a popular match, Jeff. How dare you?
Oh, if you want to comment on this, go to youtube.com.
And make sure you review my historical position on star ratings and matches. Jeff, do I think there's much to star ratings in the first place?
I don't believe you do.
Have I ever thought that?
No.
Yeah. No, I haven't. Okay, interesting.
Take it up with them, not on the show.
People seem to know my history, but then they don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That guy.
The
champion. That's his name.
Oh, he is.
That guy.
That's great. Yeah, no, that's cool. But no, I think that Danielson is time and again turning in these awesome matches. His fire-ups are great. He had a really nice match here with Jackson, where he did the bulk of the work, and he's fantastic. I'm really glad to see Bryan Danielson wrestling again.
And you'd like to see him wrestle those guys and that guy and
I would love to see him wrestle like Adam Page. That'd be fantastic. A match with Miro.
Okay.
Daniel Garcia. There's a lot of people I could name.
Yes, that's very, very true.
Not that guy, but I can name other people.
I'll go with NXT 2.0 Ladies Night. A fascinating bit of marketing for this, especially on Monday, where it was basically like, watch sex. Here you go, everybody. Let's start off with the very, very good, which was one thing. Johnny Gargano is a comedic master on these things. That he was so good in these stupid sketches, and I love it. Those sketches were better than they had any right to be, especially Dexter Lumis's payoff. I laughed, I howled, I applauded. Good job, NXT creative team. Pass that along for me. Now, go ahead. I'll let you talk.
No, they totally just really knocked it out of the park with
did.
The wrestling comedy, which is a thing I never thought I would ever say. But
dude,
like,
of all
Dexter
the things,
Lumis is a great vehicle for humor. Johnny and Candice are very funny.
Candice's delivery of what's the worst second, and then looking down at her pregnant belly, I howled. You know what? They're the best. You might be focusing on the new guys, but the Garganos are over here creating the moments that you're gonna remember on this show. I died at that, Chris. I absolutely died.
NXT has been very good for Johnny Gargano and Candice in that you obviously they never had anything to learn when it came to wrestling. They're great wrestlers, but the character acting stuff from when they first started in this company to now, they have clearly grown. And it's weird to say that they actually like grew in NXT, but like they obviously have.
If you had told me Candice LeRae was going to be a good heel, I would have laughed at you. I would have. And then we got to the actual wrestling parts of Ladies Night. And this was not good. Between Elektra Lopez and B-Fab, as we already stated, the Raquel Gonzalez versus Frankie Monet match wasn't very good. I think Frankie Monet has to get moved up too. I don't think she fits in this vision of quote unquote new up and coming stars. I think she's going to get moved up. You know, that on the website, certain people were drafted and she's going to be the prelim person. Where the hell was Kaylee Ray all night? Nowhere to be found. That worries me a little bit. Gives me a little hope she might be getting drafted, but it worries me that we decided to build this women's title match between Kaylee Ray and Raquel, and now we're just going to go to Mandy Rose. That's a downgrade for me. I don't know about you guys, but that's a downgrade for me. Yeah, I liked the tag match for what it was. I think Zoe Stark. I hate their comedy sucks. Okay, between her and Io, but as a team, I love them. I love watching Zoe Stark wrestle, and I think JC Jane is here to be the how do we put this, the person who bounces off of all these people, because I thought she was very good in that role.
Yeah, she's actually quite good, isn't
yes.
she? Yeah,
yes.
no, you said pay attention to Jane, and I was watching her, and she can work, man.
That's what I was
really
thinking. I was thinking I dismissed her far too quick because it looked like she was, look, when she was doing the sexy gimmick, she just looked out of place. She looked uncomfortable doing the toe in front of toe walk that they make sexy wrestlers do, and she looked like she was wearing a costume that didn't quite fit and everything, but she got in the ring for this match this week, and I thought she was one of the best things about it. She was taking all the bumps for everybody, and I thought she was pretty damn great in this.
Andre Chase, my man, got defeated by Boa after getting smoke blown in his face by Mei Ying.
God bless Harlem Bravado. I hope he has a fairly long career in NXT. I don't know if he does. There are other people doing a similar gimmick like this, I think. I did. He got to drop the main event swear word when he was walking backstage. That's bullshit.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, well, that was very funny. That should have been a disqualification. Like, what a great line. Yeah, I'm with you. Joe Gacy. God, these promos continue to be awful. And it's not like just the buzzwords, you know, the canceled and the sensitivity and the snowflake and the safe space and all that stuff. It's that like every single sentence is written around, okay, we got to make sure we have one millennial buzzword here in this sentence. Okay, so last week we violated the safe space. Jeff, give me another millennial buzzword.
Triggered.
Okay, and I know a lot of you were triggered when I was attacked by who was my opponent last week. Like, you know, like every single one of these sentences in this promo just centers around like a word like triggered or safe space or something like that, and I don't think that this is getting any real heat. And what's funny too is that like, because they need to keep Joe Gacy heel, he can't screed against boomers. So he's like talking about like our generation, the millennials, but never really sort of like names the enemy in that sort of millennial-y narrative, which is the boomers.
I brought this up. I don't know if I brought this up here. I know I brought this up on another show that I do, but this is very much through the looking glass CJ Parker in many ways in terms of, but it's a little different. And I'm going to posit this to you. Whereas before the heat was all on the character and what the character believed and things like this to me feels like they're attacking an audience a little bit, which makes it a little bit of a dicey situation. And I gotta say, I think they're kind of attacking
Joe
the
Gacy. Yeah, Joe
AEW
Gacy's like
audience
the
a bit.
AEW fan, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sort of like the AEW discourse online. Their perception of what the AEW discourse is online.
All he's missing is a stopwatch.
A bunch of really sensitive people online all weekend parsing through every single like micro thing about wrestling or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so I'm a little, as opposed to say Dan Lambert, because people have been comparing the two types of promos. Dan Lambert is out there to be a jerk and a heel, and
they clearly told them to lean into the being like a dime store Jim Cornette thing.
Yes. This is a little different. This is for them, it's very subtle shift in who they're attacking. The heat's not all on the character. The heat's on the audience that he's talking about, which is very, very, I don't know. And given NXT's demographic, older viewers, let me posit this to you. Is it possible they're not going to, no, the live crowd will never make him a baby face, but would the boomer crowd make him a baby face?
No, because he's still like affirming millennial values enough.
Yeah.
Like he's really a character for no one. He's the guy who's like trying to appeal to boomers, but isn't one of them.
He's a character that a management company would put out there to get out all their frustrations, and it has no appeal to anybody on a broader spectrum other than somebody in the office. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, no, it really does. It's unfortunate to see a guy who's in a developmental territory or whatever. I don't know where that sentence was going, but was in a developmental territory. This is the gimmick you're getting, which is just a death gimmick.
And I'll end my part with this question, Chris. Did the Tony D'Amato promo get you more fired up?
Bada bing, Jeff. Cannot wait. Let me tell you.
You think I could ask him about Stromboli?
He probably, his family has been involved in a historical heritage of Stromboli. A lot of Stromboli is falling off of these docks, you see. And next week, I'm going to get the big Stromboli.
I was sitting here watching the Many Saints of Newark when he has uncles who take care of things. He has dock workers.
He's got family businesses.
Olive oil. Will one of them be olive oil? Because that would just be.
We pack them in like sardines. Bada bing!
I want to see the audience reaction on his debut.
Does he come out with like New York pizza? Like he actually has a pizza pie in his hand?
Yeah, he comes out. The strings are playing. Like you're at like an Italy part of a theme park, like Busch Gardens or something like that. He comes out. He's probably wearing like a zoot suit of some kind with a bowler hat. Hey, what's the matter? He's doing the FBI shtick from ECW. That's what he's doing. He's doing Tommy Rich in ECW.
Or more modern, Vinny Visaro, kind of doing that gimmick.
Yeah.
Huh.
I like Vinny though.
I like Vinny. Vinny's a nice guy.
Good follow. Pizza Twitter, always good.
Zion Quinn, another person who comes from the same part of the world that Braun Breaker comes, where you get names like Zion and Braun.
Got his name originally, but I saw it. Yeah, it was a decent debut. Poor Oni Lorcan. This is his gig now. This is what he's going to be until they let him go. I have nothing else for the Lazy River. If we want to close
it. Let me see what else we got here. Kyle O'Reilly and Rich Holland. It's amazing, like how not interesting that is. Let's see if there's anything going on in NXT UK. Oh, I fell asleep during the Charlie Dempsey Josh Morrell match. Was Charlie Dempsey any good?
He was okay.
He was okay. Um,
Wh-
yeah.
Were you put to sleep by that Mustache Mountain, Ashton?
Yeah, that's
And
actually it's exactly what happened. Is like I was like laying down in bed. I was like, oh, I'll watch this, and I must have passed out somewhere between Mustache Mountain because I never made it to Danny Luna versus Zaya Brookside. So
yeah, Zaya lost again.
there you
Building
go.
up that young star. Good
Yeah,
on him.
good on him. There you go. And
I,
yeah, I don't know that I have anything. What do you think about LBO Leo?
oh, Leo Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I had it on down here and I just skipped it for some reason. I don't know where he fits into AEW.
I think the leverage buyout thing is too stocky.
Yes.
I get it, it. Like Jeff and I are like stock dorks. So
Yeah.
this is if we're saying that it's too dorky and inside baseball for us, I don't know. Take that for what it's worth, I suppose.
Is
I
it
just,
too on the nose to say that Leo might be heavily shorted?
I just like the fact that he had to explain what a leverage buyout was in agonizing detail. I was like, yeah, see, this is the problem with this gimmick, Leo. Like, you know, call it, someone big money or like Cameron Grimes to the moon. Like people put together what to the moon means. Like the green arrows going in an uppy direction. Leverage buyouts, it's complicated.
Here's my issue. He didn't really knock him dead on his debut when he came out for the Casino Battle Royal. He's a little smaller. They've already just signed Lee Moriarty, who probably has a little bit more upside at this point for them. I like Leo Rush a lot. They don't have a cruiserweight title here, so he's going to be against bigger guys. I think he's put in there with the Men of the Year within a month. That's what I see. I think he's going to be put in with the Men of the Year because he kind of fits in with them.
Hey, it's better than that than the Hardy Family Office, which
That's
is where a
true.
leverage buyout could be. The
Oh
Hardy
my
Family
God.
Office is where you go to die.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Well, let's close up. Oh,
No, one last thing.
go ahead.
Jungle Boy. Jungle
Yes.
Boy losing again.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he got to kick out of all of Adam Cole's big moves. He did, and that's fine. But he needs a big win now.
And he's got lots of big losses.
Yes, this four pillars thing is interesting because it's like, yes, Jungle Boy, who has lost to some of the top talent in AEW, and then Sammy, who
He went
the
the
win.
distance against Jericho.
Yes,
How
he went
dare
the
you,
distance
sir?
against Jericho. Yes, I forgot about that.
Unlike MJF.
Yeah, I think he and Christian have to win the tag titles because I don't think Luchasaurus does it for him. I think he has to win with. I think it has to be a great wrestling match with four guys who can go, and I think he has to win the tag titles next. I think they have to do an angle where they rebrand Jurassic Express as, hey, I'm going to try my luck here with Christian for a little bit, just so that they can earn a title shot because they're low on the pecking order. I mean, unless I would kind of be here for a Jungle Boy Sammy Guevara feud over the TNT title. I think that'd be a pretty good feud. Although I don't think you'd put Jungle Boy over Sammy. So I don't know where you go. I don't know where is Jungle Boy's big win going to come from at this point? That's my question.
Yeah, and Adam
Punk?
Cole. I guess.
Is Punk a big enough name now? Because I mean, if he's just going to lose to, see, that's the problem here. You've put
it would really need to. It needs to be against a heel. I mean, the other thing I worry about with Jungle Boy is like he can't be going up against a cool heel or even a baby face. Anything that splits the crowd 50-50 or like 55-45.
Yes.
Jungle Boy is one of these characters where he needs the crowd solidly behind him at all times. And you may like that Adam Cole has cool heel sort of energy about him, and you may say that that's part of the fun of Adam Cole and his character, and it's cool that he's a cool heel that gets cheered on his way to the ring, and then people do sort of boo him during course of the matches or whatever. Maybe. I don't know that I agree with that, but I do think that Jungle Boy needs to be up against people like MJF, who is absolutely never, ever, ever in danger of getting cheered at any point during the match. And that a guy like Jungle Boy, a character like Jungle Boy, does its best work when it's in the ring against a real nefarious, dastardly sort of heel that we don't like. And a character like Jungle Boy tends to have struggles against a cool heel. Like to give you an example, like a cool baby face, like a John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. You could put Moxley and Kingston up against an Adam Cole and even the Bucks and Omega, who sometimes sort of get cheered a little bit or whatever, and you don't have any worry about Moxley and Kingston like getting thrown into the meat grinder here. But like Jurassic Express is kind of a dorky gimmick. It's a dorky gimmick that people like, but like the Dino Boy song, what's the name of that song? Tarzan Boy or whatever?
Tarzan Boy.
That's a stupid song. Yeah, it's not a great song. I don't like the song.
Is it worse than Train?
Is it worse than Train? No.
Okay.
Like, we need to stop the train, Jeff. Like,
I like a couple of their songs.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cody was telling me the other day that he likes Nickelback, so that's people have problems. I'm here to help. Anyways, point being, like the Jurassic Express is a dorky gimmick. It can't be up against a cool heel. It's an adorable, likable. We're cheering for him. We want to see the guy who's dressed up like a dinosaur and their diminutive friend win stuff. We like that, but like Adam Cole's cool, and you just that's not the right pairing.
Here's what they need to do then. Okay, I think I have an idea. Did you watch ECW, or have you gone back and watched the ECW where Taz becomes Taz, where they reintroduce him on commentary? I think it's during a Benoit match, and you don't know who's talking, but they go, the guy that you heard on commentary was Peter Senerca. You may know him as the Tasmaniac, but now you're going to know him as Taz, and he comes back hardcore, like repackaged like that. He needs to come back repackaged as Jack Perry and just be have a different look about him, a different demeanor, something, because the way that you're going to get around your thing, and I think I know what they're going to do. I think they're going to try and rebuild back up Miro a bit and then have Jungle Boy beat Miro. But I don't think that works. I don't think that's big enough. I think after almost getting by Adam Cole, going to Jericho with a draw, didn't he fight Omega at one point, or am I misremembering that?
I think he did fight Omega at one point.
Yeah. I think he needs a top tier. They may have him beat Danielson. That would be
what would be interesting? Have him beat both of the Bucks in singles matches.
Okay. I can go with that. Would that be big enough?
I think that starts it off. It's kind of like Danielson against Nick Jackson in solo action tonight. I think that was actually a smart little booking move by AEW, because like the Jackson guys, they're like the classic, beat one member of the Midnight Express sort of matches.
Yeah. Which I loved. I always loved that. Tag teams were great as a tag team, but maybe not necessarily as a singles act. I think that's a smart move. I'm going to end it there. How do you feel about that?
I'm going to somehow get over it.
Okay. You can follow me at Crap Game 13. You follow Chris at DWATG. You can just follow the show at Shake Them Ropes, all one word. We are part of Voices of Wrestling. Podcasts for every kind of wrestling takes, including Everything Elite, which comes out shortly after Elite ends on Wednesday nights. Flagship with Joe and Rich. Music of the Mat with our boy Andrew Rich. In addition to other fun things, Open the Voice Gate. Look, if you like certain kinds of wrestling, we probably have a show for you. We even have a historical one on TNA these days, which is fantastic, with Garrett Kidney, who knows all things TNA and even things you've probably forgotten about TNA. We're also on the Voices of Wrestling video channel if you want to watch the reactions that we give each other from time to time. Chris has a pretty sweet army jacket on today. I think that's kind of cool. But Chris also does podcasts about politics. He's going to tell you about it now.
Yeah, if you go on YouTube, you can see Don't Worry About the Government on YouTube. I'm trying to record those twice a week. I was a little under the weather this week, so I didn't do a taping of the show because I was sort of burning the candle at all ends and along the side as well. But I will be back next week with more episodes of Don't Worry About the Government. You can find it on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and at patreon.com/DWATG. Thank you for supporting the show. If you want to hear my music and stuff, search on YouTube for Chris Novembrino. There's a music-only channel. No views about anything other than guitar-related things on that channel, and I don't speak often. So maybe you'll enjoy that more.
Wrestled that guy.